Welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly, and today we're going to talk about being celiac and being gluten-free and how to get started. So you just found out you can't eat gluten or you're celiac and you're like, what am I supposed to do? Like, gluten's in so many things, it's crazy. So I'm here to help you along and tell you what I did and what I would suggest and recommend from someone that was diagnosed with celiac disease about a year and a half ago now, I think. So we've been living that gluten-free lifestyle, you know? And I wanted to also just not have my whole channel about recipes and food, but to be a little bit informative as well and have a conversation with you all and kind of talk about and build a little gluten-free community. I mean, we're here for the vegan eats too, obviously, but if you're not vegan, then that's cool too. Also, I have COVID for like last week. I got it. So if I sound sick, that's why. I still have a cough a little bit, so yeah. And I have an iced hot chocolate here, so I literally just put my favorite brand, I'll pop it up here, Castle Kitchen hot chocolate, vegan, gluten-free, everything. I literally just put the hot chocolate and I put some of this, I think it's Califia cream, I don't know what it is, I'll show y'all, and just my Silk plant milk, like the Next Milk one. Yeah, I just put those two in here and I just use my little frother and then I put ice on it. So yeah, it's actually really tasty. Steps that helped me transition into a gluten-free lifestyle or diet. Okay, this is what the whole video is going to be about. Step number 1, this is where we're going to start. This is really important. So first of all, you need to learn what gluten is. Okay, that's the most important, because if you don't know that malt vinegar or malt comes from barley and it's a sugar that's in a lot of stuff, you could get sick. Very important to know the little things that could be in sauces, for example, that, oh gee, that's actually from wheat or from gluten. The big 3 that are going to have gluten in everything: rye, wheat, and barley. So anything that's rye based, anything that's wheat derived, and everything that's barley derived is going to have gluten in it and is going to make you sick if you have celiac or gluten intolerance. I'm speaking in general because obviously some people might be able to tolerate some things and others not, but those 3 are the big 3. So if you're reading like a packaging and it says like from barley or like from wheat, obviously that's going to be a no-no. So after you know the rye, the wheat, the barley, that becomes easier. Step number 2, separate gluten containing and non-gluten containing items. You need to go through everything in your fridge, in your pantry, and you need to figure out what has gluten in it and what does not have gluten in it. I would just go through and the very obvious things to you do first. So pastas, just separate the pastas. So if there's other people that you're living with that eat gluten, take the regular pastas, just put them somewhere, and then you have your own gluten-free pasta, just put it somewhere else, in a box, in a different cupboard, whatever. Just separate them. Same with like breads, obviously. Just don't put your stuff next to theirs. Get your own gluten-free bread. Just start separating those kinds of things. After that, will it be more complicated? Will it be more easy? I don't know. Stay tuned to find out. So this is going to be really important because you shouldn't have things touching each other. It seems like paranoid, but gluten can transfer. If it's made in a gluten-filled facility, the packaging can literally have gluten on it. So you want to be careful and make sure that those items aren't touching. A good rule also is to keep all of your gluten-free items above the gluten-containing items. So if you have like a cupboard or a shelf, yours can go on the very top, and then you can go shopping. You can buy all the gluten-free stuff, and then you'll already have a place at home. You can just put it there, keep it there. That's yours, that's your safe zone. You don't have to worry about cross contact, anything, touching yours, whatever. That's another big thing too. Which leads me into step number 3. Learn how to read nutrition labels. This is going to be super important. This is going to be one of the most important things, which I mean, obviously, maybe that should be step number 1. So you know, wheat, barley, rye all contain gluten. There's many other grains and flours out there that do contain gluten also, okay? And there are some gray areas that people say they can have, like sourdough. You just kind of have to test the waters with certain things. I'll pop up a little example here of a nutrition label. So I would recommend learning how to read a nutrition label regardless of if you even have allergies or anything. It's really, really good to know what is in your food, what you're eating, and sometimes you'll be really shocked. Like some chips, for example, have like 40 ingredients, and it's like, for some potatoes and some seasoning, okay. Very important. Once you know what gluten is, then you can go and read the nutrition labels and the ingredient lists, and you can look through and find out, okay, is this going to be harmful or not? Because not everything has a gluten-free label on it. A lot of stuff doesn't. For example, one of my biggest pet peeves is like McCain, which is a huge company. They make fries, tater tots, potato wedges, hash browns, all that type of shit. Okay, tell me why they can't put a gluten-free thing on their potato products, okay? In general, potato products are usually safe. Corn products are usually safe. But it is really nice, and it makes you feel really good when there's a gluten-free label stamped on things. Like so many chip companies says gluten-free right on the bag. Step number 4. Do not share condiments if you live with people that eat gluten. This is a really big thing too, because if you're sharing butter, peanut butter, mayo, stuff that you're putting a knife in, you're spreading it on bread, you're putting it back in again, that is just no. What I recommend is having your own. If you don't have the ability to have your own item and label it gluten-free in the fridge or in the cupboard or whatever, I would suggest when you do get whatever butter, let's say, take a portion out, brand new when it's fresh, and just put it in a container for yourself that's yours. Then there's no way that someone's going to accidentally use yours, because it's just in like a Tupperware container in the fridge. People are just going to grab their own thing. So I would definitely recommend just having your own separate container and labeling it gluten-free, but obviously not everyone will be able to do that. Just even one little breadcrumb can totally mess someone's day up, and yeah, that's not cute. Tip number 5, not eating out or only eating at gluten-free, like fully gluten-free places. Obviously this is kind of like oh my god, I need to like change my whole life around or whatever. But in the beginning, I think it's really important to just avoid, because it took me a year to heal my gut, and any little thing would just totally throw me off and disrupt everything. If they don't have dedicated gluten-free fryers, if they don't understand what celiac or gluten allergy is, don't trust it. Do not trust a burger restaurant to make you a lettuce wrap burger without touching other people's buns and then just touching your lettuce after. Like, just don't trust it. If anything, actually, I would recommend, if you're like, I cannot not eat out, and you don't have that many gluten-free, which there isn't that many here, so I understand. The best places I've found that are really great are the Mexican restaurants. The burrito bowls, like where they're just rice and beans and stuff like that, so good. They're always I don't want to say always, but like almost always safe. So my go-to is going to Mexican style restaurants, because I know they're gonna have corn tortillas usually, or gluten-free tortillas, and like bowls with like rice and things like that. They don't use too much flour, and if there is flour, it's literally a flour tortilla. So other than that, there's not really, like, they don't have buns and stuff. Avoid at all costs, when you're first going through it, avoid places with buns, like burger buns, sub buns. Like, I would not, even right now, I would not trust going to Subway. I'm not trusting they're wiping it down, putting fresh gloves on. Like, no. Guac Mexi Grill is amazing. They're amazing. We've been there a couple times, and they change their gloves. If they were making burritos before, they make mine too. Like, they're amazing. They're so good, and they're delicious too. So if you can find a good place like that, that can be your go-to. And that's going to be the biggest priority, I would say, in the beginning, is really trying to cut everything out, because I was still trying for a while. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I'll have A&W lettuce wrap burgers, and oh, I'll have the fries that were in the deep fryer with like breaded chicken and stuff like that, which you can't also do. So you really have to watch out for deep fryers, because a lot of places either don't want to do that, because I mean, that's like having an extra deep fryer, or taking away one of their deep fryers specifically just for gluten-free items like fries or whatever. They don't want to do that, or they just don't have the knowledge to do that. Step number 6, learning safe grains and flours. I also got some comments saying about grain-free and things like that, and one of the things people seem to be confused is like, what am I actually not eating? And like literally everything that has gluten in it, but then people kind of bring in wheat and bring in grains, so I don't know where like grain-free comes in with gluten at all. I don't know, it gets really confusing, to be honest, because I can't have gluten. There's no gluten in like rice, corn, several other like grains, like even quinoa. Like there's so many seeds and things like, well, seeds. There's so many other things out there. There's so many ones that are gluten-free naturally, and then there are flours and stuff that do have gluten that seem like they don't. Like, I thought spelt was gluten-free, it's not. So really actually getting to know like a list and knowing in your head, okay, what grains, what flours, whatever else there is out there, because some people from different countries too consider grains differently than we do here in North America. So you really have to kind of know what exactly you're meaning. I'm gonna put up the definition of like what is gluten, because I think that could clear some things up. To finish off our video here, the final step, which I wouldn't really consider it a step, I consider it just a way of being, which I also get a lot of comments saying that, you know, it's really hard because you see it as, oh, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. I go out with my family, my friends, and like I'm so jealous, like they can eat everything and I can't eat anything, and you can really get down on yourself like that. So what I try to do is, instead of thinking what I can't eat, I just think of what can I eat, because I can eat a lot of stuff. Yes, gluten's in a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that doesn't have gluten in it too. So I actually just like watch my family members eat gluten, that can eat gluten, for birthdays and stuff, if they want to treat themselves, how I showed you guys on, was it Simone's birthday? And they got Beechwood donuts and I just got the soft serve. So you can just find ways like that. So if they got the donut, what can I get there? Oh, I can get the soft serve. Okay, cool, awesome. And if you can't, then maybe there's somewhere else around that you can, or maybe you can stop in the grocery store and you can get yourself a tub of ice cream, or maybe you can go down to the gluten-free bakery and, you know, have something ready for yourself too. This is actually a really good tip for if you have kids, because if you have one kid that can't eat gluten, or like say you're going to a birthday party and they're the only person that can't eat that, so that they don't feel like that doesn't get instilled in them when they're young, that like, oh, I can't have that, like by constantly being told they can't have something, is just provide them with something. So like, here, that you're gonna have this cupcake, you take it to the birthday party, that's your special cupcake, you know what I mean? I think we should see it like that and kind of nurture ourselves in that way as adults too, because it can really be hard watching everyone around you eating all the stuff and then you feel left out. So if you just provide something for yourself, or like if they want to go to a certain restaurant but you know somewhere else has, well, order yourself from the restaurant you can eat at, and then you guys can eat together. I know it's hard if you actually go out to a restaurant, but if you're just like, okay, what can I do? Like make it a fun little challenge. Like, what can I eat? Like, yeah, let's make something together. Maybe it'll be really delicious, and I don't feel like I'm missing out now. It's totally a mindset thing in my mind. it's definitely a mindset thing, because I've definitely told Clay, like, oh, I really wish I could have that. Like, that sucks. Like, I want a donut. But you also have to remember, one, it's not I can't have that, okay? It's I can have, what can I have? And then secondly, it's, do I want to be sick again? Because that's a big thing for me. Whenever I see things that look delicious that I know, like, I would get so sick after eating that, it's not a, oh, I wish I could have that. It's a, thank God I know I can't have that, because I don't want to be sick anymore. I don't want to go and eat donuts or eat these treats or eat whatever bread and this and that and literally feel so sick every day or every other day. I don't want that for me anymore. And yes, it'd be nice, it'd be convenient, it'd be all these things if you could just eat gluten, but you just gotta figure out a way around it. So if you can just change your mind around surrounding that, it's a lot easier. A year and a half later, like, I don't miss it. I'm like, meh, whatever. Like, I'd rather not be sick, so I really don't care. And I would rather be that person at the restaurant, wherever, because I do not want to sit here 2 days later being like, oh, I so regret eating out. And at the end of the day, that's also what you don't want. Number 3, I don't want to regret this. What can I eat? I don't want to be sick. I don't want to regret this. So if you kind of think about it that way, think about it in a more positive manner. I've found personally that that's helped a lot, because what is complaining about it going to do? Nothing. If you have celiac or like a gluten intolerance, you cannot change that. There's no eating small amounts to make you better. Like, you're destroying the lining of your intestines. So do you want to be sick for the rest of your life or not? Like, that's what is the weight? Is the weight of fear of missing out, or is it of like, I'm gonna feel really good for the rest of my life if I make these decisions? So I just want to leave you guys with that, and I hope that this really helped you all. I hope it makes sense when I'm editing this. I wrote down my points, but I like to ramble and like to go on with things. So I really hope that there's more understanding around this in the future, and it's treated a little bit differently, and more things are just gluten-free in the future, because that would be really awesome. We'll have more videos, a little sit-down, talky poos like this, as long as the weather's nice, which, I mean, it should be till December still. I'll come out here and I will chit-chat. We'll have a little drink. Actually, I have a plan, but kind of off topic, but I'm super excited about it. I just have to get it rolling. So thanks for all your support, guys. I love the little community that we're building. There's a lot of us that feel the same way, that cannot tolerate gluten, and we just all need to get together and help each other, and it's just easier that way. So hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something new, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.